I just want to see a continuation of what they've done. I mean, let's be honest. Going into this season, not this series, not these playoffs, this season, there was literally, uh, I mean, the expectations for this group were so small. And to see what they have done in this playoffs, well, I mean, through the season, into this playoffs, and we can, excuse me if I pontificate for a moment, but you can really draw this back to having a new coach that got everybody to buy into a system. It might have taken them a while. We can go back to January 2nd versus Winnipeg. We can go back to where they got just absolutely, they got their asses handed to them in their own building by, of all teams, the Winnipeg Jets, even though I know that that's like Eric Curra's favorite team. Um, but the fact that they just have responded. I mean, when have you ever seen a team that has responded like this? I mean, they lost that game January 2nd to Winnipeg. They went the next game, played Detroit. They didn't win, but they looked so much better. Like all of a sudden, everybody started buying into what Pete DeBoer was selling, and it's just gone on from there. You look at all these numbers where it's like, oh well, they got a shitty record at home, and they all these different numbers. Well, it's a little different when you change the aspect to the turn of the calendar, and it's really gotten different since then. And you look at what they've been able to do at home. What are they now at home? Like 7-2 or 6-2 or whatever the hell they are. But either way, they've been able to shake off that home stink that they had and just been able to, and we talked about this before. How many times did we talk about this leading up to the playoffs? Play your game. Don't devolve into what LA wants to do. Don't devolve into what Nashville wants to do. Play your game. Bring the game to you. Make them play your game. And as bad as the Sharks were a couple nights ago, where they were slow to pucks, they were slow, they were reactive. They weren't proactive. Tonight, especially those first 5 or 6 minutes, they were just damn. They were on the money. They were proactive. They were jumping on stuff. They were making sure that this shit was going to end tonight. Just continue that, boys. Just make sure that you're the first ones to the puck. Your feet are always moving. You're looking to play your game. Don't get sucked into anybody's game. That's it. I love you guys. I will see you after whatever, I'll see you Monday night, whether it's here or whether it's somewhere on the East Coast. I guess it would be Pittsburgh if it's there. But other than that, yeah, that's just play your game, Sharks. And I can't fucking wait, man. 4 more wins, boys. 4 more wins.
Hell yeah. That dude, I was like tearing up, man. Gentry, your final thoughts.
No, that's a great segue from AJ because the only number that matters now is 4. 4 more wins, and you silence everybody. 4 more wins, and you get to hoist the Stanley Cup. You guys have said when we clinch the playoff spot, San Jose deserves a winner. Well, guess what? All it takes is 4 more wins, and you have given us that. I have not seen such resilience from this team in so long. You guys have put together something magical. All we're asking for from you is whatever reserves that you guys have left, whatever you guys have been, putting in the back burner, now is the time to do it. This is the final stretch. This is Act 3 of everything. This is the epic finale. This is when all the explosions go off. If this was a Michael Bay movie, all the robots would be attacking Tokyo right now. All it takes is 4 more. Think about that. Every shift in these games matter because you want to hoist that lovely silver trophy that is not the Stanley Keg, it is the Stanley Cup. Just go out there, play what you need to do, dominate your opponents because we know you can. All it takes is just 4 more.
And look at how much fun this team is having. And I think that's the other thing. Look at it. This was just tweeted out. Look at all the guys that are on the CSN set right now. I mean, you've got Jumbo, Wingles, Hurdle. I mean, and we've seen this before when it comes to the the post game shows.
Warriors.
No. I'm talking about we're seeing this now with the post game show that the guys are like they're just so up. They're so just. I mean, look at Game 5. You got Joe Thornton squirting water over the thing, and he's just kind of dancing and everything. This team is just so loose. We can't not do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what I was saying there is like, you remember like the Warriors last year, they weren't like tense. The Giants and all their championship years, they weren't tense. So with that, I'll give my final thoughts and I'll hand off to Puckeye for his, and then to close this out because I think we're hitting about that point where my wife's texting me like, "You guys done yet?" So my final thought here is, let's talk about consistency. So there's always that sexy team that is just so dynamic, so incredible. Just they're just they take your breath away with the way they play. The Sharks haven't been that team. Not in the regular season, not in the postseason. They've had their moments, but they've just largely been that consistent team that's just there. They keep pushing, and pushing. There's nothing really stood out to you about them in the first round, maybe the second round, not the third round either. Like, they've just been there. They've consistently executed a good game plan. They've consistently put pressure on. I mean, the coolest thing about the Sharks is their top line, which is damn cool. But in general, the Sharks, their identity has been just be that team that keeps pushing, consistently very good, not trying to be they're not trying to hit the home runs. They're trying to hit the base, try to get the base hits, the doubles, the triples, and the occasional home run. And to me, that's the thing that Pete DeBoer has brought to this team, is this team has been very measured, they've been very good, and they've put their hard hats on and gone to work when they've needed to. They haven't thought like, oh, we're down 2 goals, we need to hit some home runs. They've been like, we're down 2 goals, let's get some base hits, let's get some doubles, let's just put the work in, and the goals will come. And to me, that's been the big thing about this team. That's been the difference. That's what's been so good. It's the depth, top to bottom. They've all bought in, and that's just what's been incredible watching this year. And we've had a front row seat because if you watch our show on a regular basis, we watch probably out of the 100 games as of tonight. It's 100 games. We've all watched probably 90 to 95 plus, depending on different family obligations and whatnot. So we've seen this team through every up and down, and damn, it's been a fun ride. And with that, I hand it off to Eric. Take us home, buddy.
Thanks, guys. The 3 of you have been through this, and ironically that the 3 of us are here, the last 3 here. No disrespect to Ian or Landy or the group at Tealton the Glasses. This is the original 4 that started this program. 25 years ago, I fell in love with the hockey team listening to the first broadcast on KNEW 9:10 a.m. on my little Sony Walkman. And I knew that it was going to be painful even at 12 years old when we were going 17, 58, and 5, and then the following year 11, 71, and 2. But I still wore my Sharks jersey with pride. I still wore my starter parka, similar to one that Brody had, that he tweeted, I think, about a year ago. And then 93, 94 came, and just took over by storm. AJ can back this up for sure. Um, it led to a love affair with the fan base, and around that time, I recovered from a knee injury, and I started skating as rehab, and then I started playing. Then I ended up getting the shin pads and then the hockey stick, and all of a sudden, Ray Whitney scores an overtime goal, and place goes nuts. We had our ups and downs. We've been through everything. I've been called every name in the book the last few years because my team was an effing choker, or your team sucks, or how many cups do the Sharks have, or when is noted playoff choker Patrick Marleau going to do anything? Or when is Patrick Marshmallow going to stop showing up and actually play? Or when can these guys not get over the hump? These guys they're psychologically, they can't go. I've seen people leave the fan base. I've seen people jump back on the bandwagon. And to be here tonight with my best friend Gentry and my good partners with Pucknology, and with my mother, there were no words at the time. I walked out. My mom actually showed me out. We went outside, and there was this bright little star that was hanging over us. The only thing that disappoints me right now is that our friend Megan isn't here to watch us with this. And I can't. I know for sure it frickin' took her to get upstairs and tell the hockey gods, get your shit together. The Sharks deserve a winner. And now we are 4 wins away from going absolutely insane. You think tonight was crazy? Let the Sharks win 4 more wins. And I've always said this before the game, before the season, and during the playoffs. It's a fun ride, and especially on Twitter, it's a fun ride, and I love going on this crazy roller coaster with each and every one of you. That being said, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you hit up technology.net. We will have a ton of content up until Monday and then through the Stanley Cup Final. Again, we can't wait to enjoy this ride with you. I'm going to leave us with a guy that's been with the organization for 25 years. He said on his radio interview today that he just wanted the chance to call a Stanley Cup Final game. And with that, I'm going to put up the banner, and I'm just going to let this be his moment. And this is Dan Rusanowski's call when we clinch the Cup Final. When it ends, Chris, just edit. All right, here we go.
There are 13 seconds to go. We're back to action. There's a goaltender in the nets to our right. The Blues have it in this home. The seconds are ticking down. The fans can't believe it. They're on their feet. They're celebrating. They're cheering. And now it's down to 0. And listen to this. The San Jose Sharks swarm off the bench. They're mobbing each other. They're congratulating Martin Jones, and the happiest people on the ice are Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Joe Pavelski, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and all the leaders. For the first time in history, the San Jose Sharks will advance to the Stanley Cup Final. The final score in Game 6, the Sharks 5, the Blues 2, and it's pandemonium at SAP Center.